Ugh. We are live with another episode of BS Busters Lite. This podcast probably won't last longer than an hour, but before we get into what's going on, I'd like everyone to introduce themselves, and then I'll tell you what the topics we'll be covering, and then we'll dive into it. So, let Lady go first.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages. This is Joy Lemon Star. Welcome you to the BS Busters Light. And if anything, I think we're going to have some fun with talking about somebody stupid.
Oh, there's a lot of stupidity. There's some stupidity where I was like, I can't believe you had one job. And Kenoshi?
It's Kenoshi Abominito, and it's Kenoshi Abominito, yeah, glad to be on another BS Busters.
All right. So, and of course, it's me, Mr. Red Fox. We may be joined later by none other than Pinky Don, but if he comes in, it's awesome. If he doesn't, well, we're holding the torch for him. So basically, the topics we have today are not a huge amount. We will be covering. We're gonna be talking. We're gonna be covering EA fucking up yet again because, like, they have one of the most valuable IPs in existence, and they managed to not make
Star Wars.
Yeah, they managed to not put out games for it. Like they've managed to put out 2 Star Wars games on a 10-year license, and they've canceled 3 other games in 5 years. Okay, so basically they've managed in 5 years to put out 2 damn games on a 10-year contract, and that is damn sad.
So, off topic real quick, just a real quick aside, and that is, I think I might have to, this will bleed into another topic, but I think I might have to double dip on Crosscode, because it's coming to Nintendo Switch.
With exclusive content.
Oh, shoot. Yeah, that is a really, I played that game in early access. I was pretty impressed with it. It's like, I think that's the only game I bought in early access because it was, I
So
bought
good.
it. It was very polished already. So I was like, yeah, this is a really good unfinished game.
There's another game that came out that I think was part of the earlier Nindy presentation, like towards the end of the year of last year, or maybe early this year. I can't remember. It's Feudal Alloy that I got on PC, and I'm like, I might double dip and get that on the Switch as well because it's like a Metroidvania. It's like Steamboat Chronicles, but it's kind of interesting because the robots themselves aren't like, they're just bodies for these fish that pilot the robots. It's really fucking weird, but I'm enjoying it. Like, you've got these robots going around. You play a robot that's piloted by a fish, kind of like Bob from Earthworm Jim. Bob the goldfish, who like had a mechanized body.
Oh,
yeah.
I remember. He's the easiest boss in the game.
Yeah,
and yet.
Yeah, because Jim just goes up to him and pulls him out of his tank and eats him. It's like, what the fuck? That is anticlimactic. But yeah, so yeah, I've been really looking forward to that. But the first topic, speaking of, is EA fucking up yet again? Because, you know, so I have the information here. EA, here's 3 bits of news that I'm gonna lay out, and then I want you guys to give your thoughts. Okay, number 1, EA has had a license with this has had exclusivity deal with Disney for the Star Wars license since 2013. It runs out in 2023. And in 2013, 2014, 2015, 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019. So actually, you know, they've had this exclusivity deal for 7 years, and they've only released 2 games in 7 years under this Star Wars licensing agreement. And both of them sucked because it was Battlefront 1 and 2.
And we both know how that.
And they've canceled 4 other games. One that was
mostly single players, by the way.
yeah, the 4 games that they canceled. One was an open world Star Wars game that people kind of wanted. The other one was the other 3 were single player Star Wars games. One was like a game where you're a bounty hunter, and that was Visceral Games, one that they were going to make. Then the other 2, one was from Jade Raymond, the Assassin's Creed lady, and the other one was from Amy Hennig, the Uncharted lady, who was going to make an Uncharted-esque type game set in the Star Wars universe. All those were canceled, okay? And now they're like, okay, we're going to put out Jedi Fallen Order because, at this point, I think we can all agree we're tired of Jedi and Sith and lightsabers because EA just keeps on fucking it up. So what are your guys' thoughts on that? Who wants to go first? Who wants to jump into that cesspool of bullshit?
I was going to say, this is from the reigning champion of all BS companies in the world, Electronic Arts.
EA. Only EA could take one of the most valuable properties of all time and fuck it up. To quote Quan Man Chu, you had one job. One job.
One job.
Yeah.
One job, and you couldn't do it.
You couldn't do that.
That's the thing. EA is the champion of F-ups. And this is even a big F-up, even for them, that they did not once, but twice, and have canceled 6 attempts to clean up.
Yeah, they've canceled 6 attempts to make they've messed up so much stuff, it's not even funny. They've messed up.
It makes me wonder, how come Disney is letting these guys keep on doing this?
Because they have an exclusivity deal. Like, they can't. Like, here's the thing. Disney is getting paid regardless. It doesn't really matter for them. Like Disney, like basically, I don't know the exact, what's going on, the exact wording, but generally speaking, how most of those things work is essentially, how it works is that when you have a licensing deal like this, Disney is getting paid regardless. Like EA is probably paying like a flat fee per year, whether a game comes out or not, to hold the license for Disney. Okay, Disney's getting their money either way. But it can't look good brand-wise that, like, one of the most valuable IPs in existence has had 4 games canceled in the last 5 years. And nothing to show for it. Like, not a damn thing. We had a teaser trailer for the 1313 game, and then the other games that they said they were making, not a fucking word.
Yeah, it kind of hurts when you look at every single bit.
Yeah.
It's like watching a slow train wreck or a slow car crash, and you have popcorn in hand. You want to not be insulting, but they do damage so spectacular that's a show of its own.
And I don't know about you guys, but I am a Star Wars video game fan. I don't like every Star Wars video game, but I'm one of those people who grew up playing games like, Super Star Wars 2, Super Return of the Jedi, Rogue Squadron 2, Rogue Squadron 3, the original Battlefront games.
Yeah, there are some decent Star Wars games in the past. Maybe not so decent. What was that Star Wars game that was essentially like it's like a lesser Gauntlet? This came out for the PlayStation and the N64. It was based off of the episode 1.
It was. I know which one you're talking about. Yeah, I didn't like that one. I thought that one was kind of shitty, but some people.
I liked it. I think I was like 11 or 12 years old when I played that game, so I liked it as a kid, but I'm sure it probably doesn't hold up at all. No. But yeah, I remember having fun with that. And obviously, the game for the N64, and then Rogue Squadron for the GameCube. That was pretty good.
Rogue Squadron. Oh, that was such a good game. Oh god.
I never got very far in that game. I was really bad at it. I had trouble getting off the Death Star.
What, Rogue Squadron?
The first, I think it was Rogue Squadron. I just never was very good at flying in video games, flying controls.
Oh, that's weird because, like, I love that game. That was like one of my favorite. That was like my go-to Star Wars game for the N64, because Shadows of the Empire sucked. Like, I mean, you liked it when you were a kid, but like in the grand scheme of things, Shadows of the Empire is not a good game. You know.
Oh, I was thinking of that flying game for the GameCube. I forgot what it's called.
Rogue Squadron 2.
Oh, that's Rogue Squadron 2. Okay.
Yeah. See, the first Rogue Squadron had a relatively good difficulty. Rogue Squadron 2 is damn hard. And Rogue Squadron 3 is even harder than that. Like, to just basically clear a mission, you can do that. But in order to get, like, the best scores for any of those missions, you have to be damn near perfect. It is. Oh, those games are hard.
That's why I had trouble getting off the Death Star in the second game. Those games were interesting just for the fact that they didn't just focus on the Jedi; they focused on other aspects of the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, there were other characters, like you could play Wedge Antilles. There was other stuff going on there. I mean, it was just a very well-made game. And unfortunately, they don't make Star Wars games like that anymore because EA has the license, and the only thing EA gives a shit about is nickel and diming people with microtransactions.
Yeah.
It's like, how many times can I just continuously give people the same shit over and over again? Or can we monetize this? Hey, you want this? Okay, you're going to have to charge it. You're going to have to give us this amount of money for this. It's like, why? Because we said so.
Yeah, that kind of line is just asking for somebody to say no to money.
Yeah. Can't say I'm surprised, though. I mean, legitimately, I can't say I'm surprised that, EA does this. Because, I mean, EA's been doing this for years. These are the same people who released SimCity 4. Remember the latest SimCity? The one that was yeah. Like, people
you have to remind me of that.
That had less content and more bullshit tied to it. Like, it's sad when I can go back and pull out my SNES version of SimCity for my SNES, and I have a bigger, more expansive city with more shit in it than the latest SimCity on the latest hardware. That's embarrassing.
Yeah, the game was also bogged down with DRM.
Oh yeah, and they were like, "Oh, it's an important part of the game. We can't turn it off," and then they just turn it off.
I was about to make the joke. They did this with SimCity.
Yeah.
Oh, God.
What is it about DRM that absolutely kills performance? Is it
because
I think it's
CPU? CPU processing that really should be,
it's supposed to be doing things.
It should be devoted to running the game. Is being devoted to check to see if you're online or connected to their servers.
Oh, okay.
And it kills your performance. It's the reason why people who know anything about gaming hate de novo, is because even though they're like, oh no, it doesn't do anything. It's like, yeah, but like I've played games where the de novo servers were eventually shuttered off and the performance goes up. And like, especially if you're playing something that's real CPU or GPU heavy, you can really see it. And not to mention that, statistically, they've done surveys on this. Piracy is not what's making gaming worse. Like, that's such a bullshit statement. Oh man, well, the reason we can't make money is because of piracy. No, you can't make money because your game sucks and people don't want to buy it.
Well, if you create a product that's decent and you aren't ripping people off, people will buy it versus, you won't have as many people stealing it.
You know, I find that amusing that everyone's always like, well, no, it's the reason this game didn't sell is because of piracy. Well, why is it always piracy? Like, why can't it ever just be like, man, maybe your game just fucking sucks? You ever think about that?
What about, I know that's the argument here in the anime community. It's like, oh, the reason the anime community can't survive is because of piracy. No,
Hey
maybe,
guys, sorry, I was late. I completely forgot.
No, it's okay, man. It's all right. But continue, Kenoshi.
maybe the animes just aren't particularly that great.
Well, I mean, we're kind of inundated with anime these days. There's so much, like, there is so much choice in anime that you really can't. It's not. How can I put this? There's so much choice in anime that you really can't pick. Like back in the day, especially here in America, like there was only like there was very few anime. You know what I mean? Like back in the day, all you had before Cartoon Network started putting anime on everything, all we had was like we had Sailor Moon, maybe Dragon Ball, and that was it. You know?
Well, here in Mexico, they broadcast Spanish dubs of anime in certain channels. So we got to experience anime before the U.S. did.
Well, yeah. I've seen those. I've seen those where they like. I've seen that where they've done that, where it's like, you know. But I'm talking like here in America, like basically, like we had nothing to show for it, you know.
Yeah.
Other than OVAs from video rental stores.
Yeah, and a lot of times they didn't even carry anime, and if they did, they weren't translated, or they were translated really badly. You know, like we had nothing, and yet now it's like you have this. The market is flooded, and you can't tell which animes are good, right? Like some animes are really good. Like Goblin Slayer is a really good anime, like astonishingly good. But some animes aren't that good, and they're trying to name, you know.
Well, that's kind of why I pirate anime, because I'm just trying to see, you know, if I like it or not. And then I ended up, I mean, that's what I did with Death Note. Pirated Death Note. I was like, this is pretty good, and bought the seasons. So,
this is astonishingly good.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, but it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, basically, the thing is that now you've got more anime coming than ever before. So now it's basically like there's more choice. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
The only downside is that
means, you know.
The only downside is that all anime become easily distributed on online streaming services.
Yeah, there's too many damn streaming services for anime, because it's like you don't know what to watch. It's too much, you know. And certain stuff that should be on TV is basically, you know, relegated to, you know, a streaming service. So, but yeah, I mean that's basically for me. That's the problem with EA, really, is that like there's no choice. You know, it's like, okay, you're either gonna do what we want or nothing. You know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't like that. You know, I don't like that at all. Like they like I remember a time when Star Wars games were ubiquitous. You could, like, no matter what, even if you didn't have a system, you could play a Star Wars game. Might not be very good, but you could play it. Like if you didn't have an NES or Atari, whatever, you could play a Tiger Electronic Star Wars game. You know? And you know, if your parents were insane and were like, "You're not playing video games in my house," you can play the trading card game. You know, Now the trading card game is still going on, but I mean, you get what I'm saying. It's like Star Wars, video game wise, was ubiquitous. If your parents were like, okay, you got the Atari or whatever, you're not getting NES, you could play the NES version, the Atari game of Star Wars, and that was fun for what it was at the time, because I played that game, and it's basically like 3 levels over and over again, but you take whatever you can get. And then the NES version, okay, those games kind of sucked. They weren't that good, but you had them. And then the SNES came out, and it's the Sega Genesis, and those Star Wars games are pretty damn good. And then EA comes out, and for generations we've had Star Wars games on multiple consoles. The Lego Star Wars games in the 6th gen, and the Rogue Squadron games on the GameCube, and I think even the Dreamcast had a Star Wars game, didn't it?
I don't remember.
I think it was a port of the arcade, like an enhanced port of Star Wars, the arcade game. But you get what I'm saying.
Ooh. Yeah, I get you there. That there's always some way of enjoying Star Wars. You don't want to go digital, like, you got a card game. You want something more complex, there's a board game.
And then EA comes along, they're like, oh, you want Star Wars? Kiss my ass. And they're like, oh, well, we can't make a Star Wars single player game. It's like most of the Star Wars games that have been out were single player games, and they were good.
And the games that were multiplayer, they had excellent single player content to go with it.
Except for Pod Racer. And I hate that game. I hate Star Wars.
Yeah.
I really hate that game.
I was about to say, Pod Racing is one of those games that I could never really get.
Now this is Pod Racing.
No, I just never liked Pod Racer. I thought it was kind of a shitty game from my own personal.
I'd say that if Pod Racer is like what was it? Eminem's Racing, if it was subtracted, if it was square rooted from Mario Kart twice.
I'm not gonna go that far. I'm just saying that it wasn't as good as it wasn't as good as people would have you believe. That's all I'm saying. Like, it was a solid racing game, and for people who really got into it, but I was like, why would I want to play this game? It's not nearly, Pod Racer is not, like, Pod Racing to me didn't look that cool. It was basically like a dogfight. Like, basically that sequence in the Phantom Menace is like the trench run in A New Hope, except with none of the fun, because no one's shooting anything. You just see people die horrifically. That's basically Pod Racer. Let's watch people die horrifically. And people still think Star Wars is for kids.
Considering that Star Wars is for kids, like Pokemon for kids, I'd say that's a bit of a stretch.
If that were the case, then why are all the Star Wars? Then why are later Star Wars games rated T for teen?
Well, I'm saying that Star Wars always had this very kind of
long reach,
kid-like aspect, even though on a technical level Star Wars is not for kids. I know this because watch Return of the Jedi. That entire movie is about like Return of the Jedi. The Ewoks, like, they're cannibals. Like when Leia and Han and Luke and Chewie get caught by the Ewoks, they're about to eat them. People are like, well, what happened to the stormtroopers that the Ewoks captured? They ate them. And I don't mean in a good way either. Literally, they fucking put them in a pot and cooked them. Okay. Those cute little teddy bears are cannibals. but people are like, yeah, they're so cute. They're so funny. This is for kids. But I mean, you get what I'm saying. It's like it had a kid-like appeal. If you get what I'm saying, you know?
Yeah. Meaning that it's able to be reachable for kids to digest and understand and watch, but it has things that are going to go right over their heads, and it's perfect for the more grown-up characters of the show.
Yeah, like Luke
or
almost
fans of it.
banging his sister. But
Yeah.
I have a pièce de resistance for EA's bullshit with the Star Wars license. Now, what is the one game from BioWare that people love so very much that they would love to see a third game from?
Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes. Do you want to know that EA has been quashing BioWare's attempts to make a KOTOR 3 for years?
Money
Really?
problem with EA.
But you know, they had money to have them make a shitty Mass Effect Andromeda, didn't they?
Yep.
But not a KOTOR 3. So we have some comments here from Trinell83. So how many games within a 10-year span would be acceptable under a contract? I don't know. But I do know that if you have a 10-year span and you've only come out with 2 games, that's piss poor. In 7 years. You've come out with 2 games in 7 years. And both of which were critically panned.
Oh gods. How can one screw that up so hard?
I mean, here's why it's bullshit. Because LucasArts back in the day for the SNES, throughout the entire lifespan of the SNES, and that was, let's say, 5 years, they came out with, and these are all LucasArts properties, but I'm just gonna say Star Wars games. They came out with Super Star Wars, Super Empire Strikes Back, Super Return of the Jedi. 3 Star Wars games in 5 years. And then let's factor in, they also came out with Indiana Jones, the game, which was like all 3 movies heavily condensed into one. And I think they also came out with some other games for the SNES. So they came out with like 5 or 6 games in 5 years. And that's just one studio. This isn't a huge development house like EA. So you can't say they don't have the resources to come out with games. So what developer would you hand the Star Wars license to? Also, what genre or type of game would you want from them?
I know the type of game, but I'm not sure of who's doing the show.
Well, this is a question from Trinell83. Okay, so basically, the developer / publisher would I hand the Star Wars license to? I would do maybe Sega. Maybe Sega, or basically, I want it to be someone who puts their games on multiple consoles and not just one thing. I would do a Star Wars RPG, obviously. Maybe not a KOTOR 3 because that requires a level of dedication and talent that a lot of development houses don't have anymore. Hey, how about CD Projekt Red? I know they're working on Cyberpunk, but wouldn't it be cool if they made a single-player, open-world Star Wars game?
One can only hope.
I'd like to see Sora Limited's take on the Star Wars game, because since Sakurai is like a huge fan of the Star Wars franchise.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I just hope he doesn't recycle another Kirby Superstar idea into it. But aside from that, it'd be awesome. What genre or type of game would I want from them? So, like, we know that Sega can make grand scope RPGs because we've seen them. So maybe like a grand scope action RPG from Sega in the Star Wars universe.
Mm-hmm.
That'd be cool. Hell, I'd take a racing game another type of racing game for it's set in the Star Wars universe, just with maybe weapons, like a kart racer, but instead of karts, they're like, I don't know, super cartoony, super deformed versions of Star Wars vehicles. That'd be interesting.
Wasn't there already one, but with Star Wars characters? With
Super Bombad Racing, which was actually kind of fun. Let's see. Do I trust the current BioWare with KOTOR 3? Not me. That's why I wouldn't get the current BioWare to make KOTOR 3. I would go with Obsidian because they made KOTOR 2. And if you get past the flaws with KOTOR 2, on a technical level, it's a better game than the first KOTOR because the story is deeper and isn't as cliche as KOTOR 1. But yeah, I mean, and that's from Weister 20. Let's get to the other topics because we got a few minutes left.
We got at least an hour here.
Yeah. Let's see the other topics that we're covering. I accidentally shut off the page, but hopefully my PC is faster than it should be. Come on, load.
We're going to cover the news about Yakuza Kiwami coming to PC next month.
That's right. Yakuza Kiwami is coming to PC next month, and they haven't given a specific date. What are you guys' thoughts on this?
If it's who I think it is, then you're gonna have to talk to somebody else, since I don't think I'm into Yakuza games.
I don't even know what. I don't even know what. What is Yakuza Kiwami?
It's a remake of the original Yakuza, except instead of it's got like extra content added to it and shit like that to make it more interesting.
Final, like the Kingdom Hearts 2.8 final remix.
Not to that point. It's just a better. It just has more content coming to it. If you get what I'm saying, like it's better. It's got more shit coming to it. And I'm quite happy about that. Like it's got more content. It's got new stuff going on. It's just, I mean, I like the idea about it. You know what I mean? I like stuff like that. Like that's how I really like stuff like that. So to me, like that's a cool aspect to me. So I know not everyone is into Yakuza. Me personally, I love the idea of going around beating the shit out of random people for no apparent reason.
I was gonna make the joke that it's like Grand Theft Auto. If it was based in Japan, it had something more enjoyable to work with.
What, Yakuza?
Yeah.
I don't know about
That's
that.
how I consider it.
I mean, it does have a dude with a dragon tattoo on his back just going around beating the shit out of people, so that's cool.
Yeah.
You know, I'm always a fan of a dude with a dragon tattoo on his back beating the shit out of people. That's always fun.
I can only imagine how much fun you're going to have with that coming to PC.
Well, yeah, I got Yakuza 0, and then I bought this one for like $15.99 on sale because I'm a cheap bastard. Yeah, I never look. It's like those commercials for diamonds. Never play full retail. Like I never play. If I can, I will buy games on sale. I never spend $60 on a game if you can avoid it.
For me, it's game to game. It's a game to game experience that you have to work with. As in, oh come on.
No, man. If a game is on sale, I will get it. But if it is like, I don't want to play full price for stuff unless it's never going to go on sale. Which happens sometimes. Some games never go on sale. Nintendo.
The Switch dominating both the Xbox One and the PS4 on December sales.
That is correct. To the surprise of no one, because Smash Brothers came out, and we knew that Smash Brothers was going to smash the competition. Oh!
Nice line, and I heard that.
we knew. I mean, to the surprise of no one, like people are acting like this is news. Oh, we can't believe. Come on, man.
It is because they do not want to give Nintendo any credit.
That is true. Nintendo can never win. That's the rule. Nintendo can never, ever, ever, ever win.
Yeah.
No matter how badass they are.
That's the reason. That's the reason why I have
they go completely against their philosophy of game design.
Like, I don't care how good their games are. I don't care how much money they make. It's like, oh man, Nintendo made a game that like revolutionized how people play video games. No, not gonna. No, they can't win. They can never win. That's the rule of thumb with Nintendo. It's like they can never win. So sadly, I mean, I'm not happy about it, but they can never win. So, but who wants to go next?
I'm just gonna have my good faith of laughter, because seriously, if you guys think that Nintendo cannot win no matter what they do, and that all their games are trash, then here, now I can see all those numbers in the red that you guys have for whatever games that you own.
Oh, but they can't win. I mean, remember when the Wii came out and the Wii kicked everything else's ass, and people were like, "Well, that doesn't count." Like the Wii version of the game was so gangbusters, but it didn't count. You know?
Yep.
Like, remember
it was
that?
so innovative, but it didn't count.
Like the Wii didn't count. Like, I mean, that's basically what we're seeing right now. Like the Switch, it's like, that version of the game count for the Switch. That doesn't count. You know?
Yeah, this is where I hear the phrase that we're in the 8th console still with the Nintendo Switch.
Yeah, I never get that.
And I know people are gonna rage because most of us around here, especially, no, it's not 8th generation.
I just find it amusing that people are like, yeah, that doesn't count. Like, nothing ever counts. Have you noticed that with Nintendo? Like, Nintendo could make like the best console ever. It doesn't count because they can't deal with it. It's like, no, it doesn't count. It's like, but it's a console. No. It's selling gangbusters. Yeah, but it's the Switch.
I mean, the Nintendo domination is so strong that there's apparently a glitch in Fortnite that makes Switch players do less damage than other platforms.
No, I mean, I think that's just a legit glitch. I'm not going to say that they're purposefully in that case.
I'm sorry. Yeah, right.
Yeah, I don't think they're purposefully breaking games just for the sake of doing it, you know. But I do think I do think that there are other things going on with the games as they are right now. I do think that certain games, I do think that the games media, like they won't, you know, something comes out, they won't talk about it unless, you know,
it's Nintendo.
Like it's always with like a caveat. It's like, yeah, this game sold gangbusters on the Nintendo Switch. Yeah. But the
But
developers themselves have to mention, yeah, the highest version of this game that sold was on the Nintendo Switch. What? How dare you, sir?
yeah, I mean, as far as I know, the entire gaming industry has been so suckle, so much dependent on Mother Sony's milk that they have withdrawal syndromes.
Well, I just think I think it's just a matter of they just give other companies the benefit of the doubt. Because I've even seen articles where people are like someone actually wrote an article about this. It's like, well, how is the Xbox One winning even though it's selling abysmally? I'm like, how the fuck? That's like having an NBA team. They haven't won a game all season, but you know they'll be fine. It's like, no,
they're bleeding out. They're bleeding out. And it's like, yeah, they'll be all right. They're fine.
Yeah. Hey, this dude, his internals are so messed up that when he goes to the bathroom, there's blood just coming out of his butt. But he's fine. He'll be okay. It's like, no.
For another 10 years. It's cool. It's cool.
Why? Like, they're like, yeah, we acknowledge that the Xbox One hasn't really been selling all that well. And their games aren't really selling that well either, but they're changing up the game. How about that streaming platform? I'm like, are you brain damaged? Like, I think I shared that article in one of my one of my things, and we just never got to the topic. But I think that's hilarious that someone would actually write that. You know, it's like, yeah, none of my kids look like me. As a matter of fact, me and my wife are white, but my kids are half black. But yeah, they're totally my kids. Yeah. That's from me, myself, and Irene, okay?
Ooh, here's some recent news. The UK Parliament is asking for feedback on whether or not gaming is bad or good or helpful for society.
Oh God!
I mean, I think
this argument again.
Yeah.
I think it just kind of boils down to it kind of just
what
boils
type of game
down
it
to
is.
what you do with it. You know, it's like how you use what you have. Like, you know, if you're playing games, if you're playing games just for, like, it depends on what you're using the game for. Like, if you use games as a way to just relax, you know, then it's probably a good thing.
It's like medicine, in that sense.
Yeah, like, or if you use it for just to socialize with your friends, that can be good because socializing with your friends is the good thing. If you use if you're one of those people who plays games and calls people the N-word, and I do think gaming can be addictive, and we've seen this with like that kid whose mom took away his video game, so he shot her and killed her.
Yeah,
I'm like, look, first of all, I'm like, this had to be a white kid. I'm sorry.
There's more problems to that story than just video games.
I'm gonna tell you right now. Look, there were times in the past when my parents would take my consoles away, and you know what? My shit was just gone. Like that was the end of it. Like this bullshit where people are like, oh, well, what do you think? No.
That is something that Eric Cartman would pull off whenever he doesn't get what he wants from his mom.
Yeah, this kid's like, yeah, how dare you take my stuff away? The problem with Eric Cartman is that his mom won't whoop his fat ass. Now, if she did that, maybe he'd be a different person.
Well, the problem is she tried to do that with the help of Caesar from the Dog Whisperer.
Yeah, Caesar Milan. No, but she wasn't whooping his ass. She was just, she would just poke him. Like the Caesar Milan guy, which I guess is kind of cool, but still not as interesting as just a good old-fashioned woodshed ass whooping.
So people will accuse you for that being child abuse.
Let me put it this way. All right. It's a whole bunch of people who benefit from an ass whooping. A good old-fashioned ass whooping. Nothing wrong with it.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
Kenoshi, what do you think of the news regarding the UK Parliament?
Again, it's just people going after video games. Nothing new here.
I don't think they're going after video games, but they're probably looking for an excuse to go after video games, you know, because that's easier.
Yeah, but that also brings up an issue of worrying about something physical for me. So I'm just hoping that they don't do stupid.
I mean, it's easier for them to complain about it and, you know, be like, oh, well, you know, video games cause this, this, and this. It just depends, you know. It depends on what's going on, you know. Like, it depends on how it's used. Like, if you use video games as an escape, like, you would rather play video games than play with your kids if you have kids, and that's a problem. Now, if you don't have kids and that's your way to relax, like, you'll sit down and play, you know, an hour or so of, you know, Zombie Killer Part 5, and that's your business, you know. For you, it is a therapeutic type thing, you know.
Yeah.
So it depends on how you use it, is what I'm saying. It depends on how you use it. If you use it improperly, then it's not used well. If you use it properly, then it's a good thing. That's just me, you know. That's just my opinion. But I think we have one more topic to cover. It'll be a quick one. So with the news coming out with that all of these old IPs are being brought over, what IP that has not been brought over to PC or some other console would you like to see brought over?
To be honest with you, I actually want to see Blitz make a revival.
Blitz the League or just Blitz in general?
Blitz the League, in a sense.
I would like to see that.
Let's see, I'm hoping to see those living book games to get a Steam release.
That'd be cool.
You mean like Monkey Island?
No, Living Book. They're these like games where it's like a choose your own adventure, but there's also like an RPG aspect to it. Like the Warlock of Firetop Mountain, stuff like that. And they're basically living books where you can like make choices that change how the story goes and stuff. But there's like RPG combat where you fight enemies and level up and stuff like that. Kenoshi?
I don't know. I don't really have a title that I would like to come back to PC.
PC or other consoles. It doesn't have to be PC. It could be other consoles.
I'd like to see Ape Escape be good again. Nice.
Well, if Crash Bandicoot is any indication of old PlayStation IPs coming back and being good, then don't hold out too much.
Oh, shit.
Don't fight the feeling. Sorry, I just butchered Don't Stop Believing. Sorry.
Oops, looks like we got a new video regarding the Piranha DLC.
What?
We got a new video regarding the Piranha DLC.
Yeah, it comes out in February. So we have some comments here. Oh, I didn't do mine. I would like to see Persona, like the PS2, PS3, PS4 Persona games come out on other consoles. Because there's no reason for those to be exclusive to the PlayStation. Like, I could totally see Persona 4, 3, 4, 5 coming to other consoles. Maybe not the Xbox, because I don't think Japanese games are ever going to sell well on the Xbox, but either Switch, PC, sure, why not? We have some commentary from Jorge Zaldivar. R-Type Dimensions is coming to the Switch. Does that mean we might get a new R-Type game in the future? That would be awesome. I recently was playing that game on my PC, and I enjoy it. I had that on my PS1, but it like got scratched to hell. So, you know, being able to play it again is fun. Reminds me just how damn hard R-Type is. That game is really fucking hard.
It's a side scroller that has a lot of enemies shooting spread damage all over the place. You expect it to be easy?
No, but it's like my muscle memory for how to play R-Type has kind of gone away. Because like you're talking to a guy who used to like used to get high scores in Super R-Type on SNES, and got a high score on Super R-Type 3 with the Lightnings on the SNES, and played R-Type Delta on the PS1 and enjoyed that. R-Type Delta on the PS2. Like, I really enjoyed R-Type games, except for that last one that they came out with that was like a strategy game, which was just weird on the PSP. Jorge Zaldivar asked another question. Can you tell Pinky to stop asking for Misty for Smash? Look, it's his choice, and he wants Misty to
I haven't spoken anything about her in this podcast at all because it's not relevant.
I'm just saying, I don't care either way. I mean, I wish they would put Ash Ketchum as a skin for the Pokemon trainer just so that I could kick his ass. Because I hate Ash Ketchum. But Baltimore has another comment. Have you guys ever heard of various Burst Chronicle Saviors for the PS4? The DLC for the game is crazy. They throw in shipping characters from IPs of other companies. So it's like Smash Brothers, basically. That's what you're saying.
I thought it was going to be Project Cross Zone for a moment.
You must be talking about one of those indie Smash clones.
No, I think it's some other game, but whatever. He says, why can't Nintendo win? The Switch never earned them the E3 award because of the bad online service. Nintendo's online service isn't bad. It's just not good for what you're paying for. Like, bad online service. Bad online service is
where it goes down every week.
Bad online service is PSN, where like every 2 or 3 months it's down. That's bad online service. Or there's a hack in like people's personal information is included. That's bad online service. Nintendo's online service is just fucking basic. And like the thing is like basic internet service should be free. Like I shouldn't be charged for basic, you know. But that's just my own personal opinion. I could be wrong. Is anyone looking forward to the Nintendo attractions in Universal Studios?
Well, I am.
I don't really care either way.
Unless it's near your area, then you probably don't give a beep.
No, it's just like I want to see what the attractions are going to be before I get involved with it. Like I'm not just going to be like, you know, the problem with a lot of gamers is that they get gung-ho about shit without hearing any detail. You know, it's like when Suda51 announced Travis Strikes Back, No More Heroes. Like everyone's like, it's No More Heroes 3, it's No More Heroes 3. And then he like Suda51 himself came out and said, no, it's not No More Heroes 3, it's a spin-off game. But they kept on, like, they jumped on that shit and they were pushing that narrative. So like I want to see what the attractions are going to be, what they necessarily entail before I'm like, yeah, this is fucking awesome. Because there's been times where they were like, yeah, this is going to be here, and then you get there and it's like, this is some bullshit, you know?
Yeah, and the Super Nintendo World supposedly opens next year in Universal Studios Japan, so we'll know exactly what attractions are in it.
Yeah, but different in Universal Studios, different attractions can vary depending on region. So even that isn't necessarily a good indicator of what's going on. Glitches is another reason why I do not play MMO games. I mean, the nature of an MMO is that there's going to be some glitches, and hopefully those get caught and patched out. Will there be any?
Yeah. Huh?
No, go ahead.
I was going to say that with massively multiplayer online games, especially RPG variants, it's expected to have some problems, some tweaks that you might have to work around, and even there's some stories to be told because of this. If anybody remembers, there was this one moment in World of Warcraft where a disease that was supposed to be exclusive to a dungeon was able to get out of the dungeon through the pets.
Yeah, so that is basically like, you know, that's basically kind of like, you know, like, I mean, that's a glitch that's unforeseen because the nature of just how large an MMO is, you can kind of be like, okay, I can kind of understand there being glitches in that. But for a single player game that's like small, like, I can't understand those types of games. You know. Will there be any Xbox One exclusive games that will be released only in Japan? I haven't seen a Japanese Xbox commercial in a while. Well, I mean, I could link you to the Kotaku article that they showed when the Xbox One launched in Japan, where there was like no one in line to buy it. Like they had all this promotional material and no one was buying shit. And like there was one guy that they interviewed and they were like, well, why did you buy an Xbox One? He's like, I like fucking playing Halo. Like he was defensive about it. Like I don't like if you're a Japanese developer, I don't know why you would put a game on the Xbox. Like there's no like your game is not going to sell well on an Xbox. I don't see the point, you know. I would like to see new titles for both the Gradius series and the R-Type series, as would I. You know, the Gradius would be awesome, but it's with Konami, so that's probably never going to happen unless it's a pachinko game. And R-Type, I mean, I think Irem still holds the rights to that, but they licensed it out, I think. I don't know if Irem is still in business. I'll go Google that and find out, because I think they're out of business. Is Irem still in business?
Don't know.
I'm Googling it. So basically, I don't know. Okay, it's owned by the ISO Corporation, and they don't make games anymore. They abandoned in the 2000s console video games in favor of software games based on pachinko machines. So they don't even make video games anymore. They just license their shit out.
You just had to say that, didn't you?
They just license their shit out. Like that's basically all they do now is just license their shit out. Because
that means that they have nothing under their belt to hold for their own.
Sad, but what are you gonna do, man? Yeah, R-Type Dimensions is the last game they came out with, and now it's sad, So we're not going to get another R-Type game anytime soon, if ever, which is sad. But what are you going to do? So we have he really misses Hudson Soft. I do too. You would kill for another Star Soldier game. I never liked Star Soldier. I thought it was kind of a shitty top-down shooter. Darius, yeah, I know what Darius is. It's the shooter series, all weird fish bosses. How does one feel for a new installment for Capcom's scrolling shooter franchise 1942? That'd be cool, but I mean, I don't know.
You're iffy about it, right?
1942 always felt it was kind of hard. Is there any way for Irem to get back in action? No, but I mean, here, what we can hope for is that Irem will license the games out to other developers who will make new R-Type games, which I would be cool with. But I don't think Irem is going to make any new games anytime soon because they aren't into that anymore. I think the only reason we're getting, because I got Irem, I got R-Type Dimensions on PC, and I was looking at like the makers of it, and it's like Irem's nowhere on here. It's like this game is made by so and so, ported by so and so. It's a fucking, it's licensed out from somebody else, which is sad because, like I said, I like that game. So we're at the 8:30 mark. I think we've exhausted the things. Any things you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
Nah.
I'm all right though. I found out that my choices were zilch, so it looks like I'm on solo mode. But
And I'm wondering if Goat Simulator will be getting a physical release for the Switch. No, because it was announced from today's Nindies
Ghost
Direct.
Simulator?
Yeah.
We could get a physical release.
Because basically, Joel, the game is basically a satire of video game development, of current AAA video game development, where all the glitches and rush productions, except you play as a goat, and it's a sandbox game.
Yeah,
so that's what that's supposed to be. I didn't get it at first.
Yeah, it's a weird sandbox game where it's like you just do weird shit to cause reactions. Like you go into a store and use your goat to headbutt the shit out of people in the store and destroy merchandise. Like the game isn't that fun to play, but it's fun to watch people play. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like it's fun to watch people play Goat Simulator, especially because it's just like the shit you can do, and it's like I wonder if I can. I wonder if I can attach a jetpack to my goat and fly out into space. You can do that. It's like, what the fuck? Why? You can do it. There's no particular reason why you can do it, but you can do it. And then there's different animals like a dolphin in a wheelchair, a giraffe, a shark. It's kind of weird, actually. A T-Rex.
It's chaos.
Yeah. It's one of those games that's more fun to watch someone play than to actually play it, unless you're playing with other people, and then it can be kind of fun. People are like, what the fuck are you doing? Let's see, what else? Here's this is just a quick little thing. Who here is excited about the next Steambot game?
Steambot game?
Steambot, Steambot game.
Yeah, that actually looks pretty good.
Yeah,
I might check it out.
It's a card battling RPG.
Yeah,
the Hand of Gilgamesh. Steambot Chronicles. It's not Steambot. Steambot.
Quest.
Yeah, Steambot Quest. The Hand of Gilgamesh. I saw it. I was like, man, Imogen 4. I was like, is Imogen 4? Is this another Steambot game? And then they showed it. I'm like, oh shit,
okay,
Steambot game. Yeah.
I thought you would be more excited for Unruly Heroes, which is essentially Journey to the West.
Well, I was kind of excited until I realized it's basically like those shitty multi-character Rayman levels where you're running around doing shit, which I didn't like in Rayman 2. So, not Rayman 2, the Rayman reboot.
Yeah,
the original.
Yeah, I didn't like those levels.
Rayman Legends.
Journey to the West, and there's the Monkey King and Pigsy and that dragon character whose name escapes me. But I wasn't really like.
Yeah, I'm gonna be honest. I like Rayman. I like the first Rayman Origins better than Legends.
I mean, they're both. I mean, to me, they're about equal. Especially if you play them on the Wii on the Wii U, which is the way they were meant to be played. Though that bullshit, like I'm still mad about that bullshit Ubisoft pulled back in the day with the Wii U. I'm like, you know, fuck you guys.
Yeah, it back.
Yeah.
And want to be a multi-plat.
Followed by their recent comment how M-rated games don't sell well on Nintendo systems, which is why they stopped releasing their M-rated titles after Watch Dogs.
No, Watch Dogs didn't sell well because Watch Dogs is a boring and underwhelming game.
I was about to say boring, underwhelming, and as typical as Assassin's Creed.
It's like a shitty like Watch Dogs is like, here, you like GTA? Yeah. Well, here's a shitty version of it. Watch Dogs. Like Watch Dogs is GTA but shitty. You know? And I can qualify that statement. Okay, Watch Dogs radio sucks. Your protagonist is not interesting at all. Ethan felt
he's more of a rat, isn't he?
Well, he's just like everything bad that happens to him, he brings on himself. He's not a good protagonist, and all the problems that were with the original Watch Dogs, they fixed with Watch Dogs 2, except for the radio. It still sucks, but the problem is that Watch Dogs was so bad that Watch Dogs 2 couldn't overcome how bad Watch Dogs 1 was, which is sad because 2 is like objectively better on so many levels. But yeah. Watch Dogs, they're like, well, this game didn't sell well because it sucked and it had none of the DLC. I'm sorry, if you're gonna release a game on a Nintendo console years after it came out on other shit, you should at least include all the DLC. If you're gonna charge full price for it, that should include all the DLC. I'm sorry. None of this, oh well, we gotta do it later and all this shit. But anyway, that's just how it feels. That's how it feels. But yeah, bring back the B, bring back Hudson. Yeah, Hudson's done. Luckily, we'll get people who like those games, who make games like that. Kind of like how Playtonic is like former people who used to work at Rare who like Rare. So they released a Banjo-Kazooie 3, except they couldn't use Banjo-Kazooie, so he used that and a chameleon. There's your Banjo-Kazooie 3. Hopefully they'll do a Conker's Bad Fur Day 2. But they can't use Conker, so they'll use like, I don't know, whatever. I'd buy that game. They need to bring back the Great Mighty Pooh.
Probably another rodent character like a rabbit or a chipmunk.
But I have returned. You can't flush evil. Anyway,
that was terrible.
Yeah, but you know, if they put it in a game, it'd be awesome. But anyway, that's just how I feel. I think we've
but I heard that
we've exhausted everything. So there's BS Busters for you guys. Light. Hopefully we'll have another one this Sunday. The time might be moved up a bit from 7:30 to
7.
No, I was going to do 7:30 to 6:30. Start time. Yeah. So if you're on the East Coast, that shouldn't be too bad. If you're on the West Coast or the Pacific Coast,
that might be a problem.
That's like 3:30 for you because there's a 3-hour time difference. But with that being said, that's the end of the podcast. I'm pimping out that I might have a video coming out where, since everyone keeps on, since the PlayStation Mini was such a failure, I was going to give 30 games that could be on the N64 Mini because
if it ever comes out.
Yeah, consuming. I mean, the N64 has a smaller library, but like a certain congressperson, the N64 is a fucking awesome console. So, with that being said, that's the end of this podcast. Thank you for joining, and good night.
And hype responsibly.